Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges was born on September 8th, 1954, in Mississippi, and her family moved to New Orleans, Louisiana when she was 4 years old. When she was in kindergarten, she attended a segregated school. This meant that her school was only for African American students, while other schools were only for white students. Around this time, schools were beginning to integrate. This meant that both African American students and white students were able to attend the same school. One day, Ruby was asked if she could take a test. If she passed the test, she would attend the all white school that was much closer to her home than her current school. Although the test was difficult, Ruby passed it. That fall, when Ruby was in first grade, she became not only the first African American student to enter William Frantz School, but the first African American to attend an all white school in the South. When Ruby arrived to her first day of class in 1960, protesters were waiting outside of the school. They were yelling at her and throwing things. Ruby was protected by her mother and a group of federal marshals. Almost all the other students did not attend school. Some parents believed that schools should remain segregated, and other parents feared their children could be harmed by the angry crowds. Each day, the federal marshals accompanied her to school as people yelled at her. Some adults even threatened to hurt her as she walked past them. Ruby always stayed quiet and did not yell back. Her mother told her to be brave. She did not cry even when people were cruel to her in school. Not everyone was unkind to Ruby. A woman named Mrs. Henry volunteered to be Ruby's teacher when no one else wanted to teach her. She did not care about Ruby's race. She always treated her with kindness and even ate lunch with Ruby when she was not allowed to eat in the cafeteria. Because so many other parents took their children out of school, Ruby was Mrs. Henry's only student that year. As the school year went on, things began to get better for Ruby. People stopped protesting outside of her school. Parents began to send their children back to the school. By the next year, Ruby was in a second grade class of both African American and white children. Ruby finished high school and later became a travel agent. She married and had 4 sons. Ruby Bridges is remembered today as a symbol of integration and an important figure of the civil rights movement, a movement that fought for equal rights of all races. If you need to, go ahead and go back and reread the passage. If not, continue on to the Ruby Bridges questions.